Peace and blessings, y'all. It's your girl Kim, and welcome to my channel. This channel is called Spirit Body Transformation. And if you're new here, please make sure that you like, follow, share, subscribe, and click that notification bell so that you'll know when I have new content being added. For those of you who don't know me, again, my name is Kim Martin Raymond. I am the host of the How Now podcast, where we talk about how to live in the now, and we'll be going into season 3 in just a few short weeks going into the new year. But this is my channel that talks about my wellness journey. And if you're not familiar with my wellness journey, it started in September of last year, and since that time I have lost 64 pounds. So I am now very close to my goal weight, which is 168 pounds, and so I'm excited about that. And I'll talk a little bit more about that shortly, but this video is talking about my upcoming surgery. I'm having a panniculectomy and a abdominoplasty to remove the excess skin from my weight loss. And it's going to be done not for cosmetic reasons, but for medical reasons, because I was diagnosed with spinal stenosis in September of last year. And it pinches a nerve in my back, and what it does is it causes me to feel like my legs they have like pins and needles, almost like they're falling asleep. So my legs have that pins and needles feeling, and the longer I stand, it almost becomes painful at some points. And so it was recommended that, because of the weight loss, which I did, to help to alleviate some of the pain that came along with the spinal stenosis, and also because I didn't want them to have to, stick an epidural in my back twice a year. Just to, open up those nerve endings and cause me to have to, continuously do that. And eventually, if it continued, they would have to do back surgery. So that was really part of my incentive for starting my wellness journey, among other things. But what my pain doctor recommended, like I said, because of the excess skin and because of the fact that I have large busts. My bust I'm in a G cup, and so it's just a lot of pressure from the excess skin and from my breast that is causing just more tension on my back. So it was recommended that I have a panniculectomy and abdominoplasty to remove that excess skin. So I am going to be having that surgery in 4 days. And so, I came on to talk about this journey, and I'm going to take you along with me as I go. So I'm excited about what's to come. And, just to touch a little bit on that, I am excited about the journey, and I'm excited about the surgery and the benefits that are going to come from having this surgery. But I was also experiencing another feeling, and I shared this in another video, and it was an aha moment that I had a couple of days ago. And what it was a feeling of remorse. And that may sound odd, but, when you're a person who has been large for their entire adult life, as I have been, you get to a point where you go through a stage where you're very self-conscious. You've been body shamed. All kinds of things have happened. People have said negative things about you. And then as the years progress, you eventually have a point where you either do something about it or you come to accept it. And I think that at some point I began to accept who I was as a larger woman and was content with that. I thought I was beautiful, and I was. And, I was fashionable with my clothes and things of that nature. And so, I got to a place, and especially in more recent times, where I really embraced my body. I embraced who I was and was content with that. And then, of course, when it became a health issue, and I began to take the steps to start this wellness journey, and I lost the weight, you know, I was looking at a person I wasn't familiar with. Okay. And so, when you're used to looking a certain way, I've always had a full face and high cheekbones and all that good stuff. And, with the weight loss, I don't look exactly the way I looked before. And so there was a little bit of a mental issue going on there. And I think that's why people who have, gastric bypass and have other types of surgery like that have to go through a psychological, because it's more than just the physical that changes. There's a mental aspect that comes into play as well. And so, you have to, embrace this new body. Okay. Because I think sometimes what happens is we have a certain expectation, or we see a certain thing in our mind, and then when we look in the mirror and it doesn't look like what we thought it was, it can kind of play tricks on you. And so I think, losing this significant amount of weight, and not ever being in this body, in this size in my adult life. I'm in a size 14. I was in a size 22, 24, and I've never been in this small a size in my adult life. So I've had to make some adjustments just with that. And getting back to this surgery, I felt remorse because, now this excess apron. Hey y'all, my video stopped. And so I'll continue on. I'm so used to this excess skin that has been sitting on my lap for the better part of 30 plus years. And now it's going to be gone in 4 days. And there's going to be some adjustments that are going to have to go along with that. And so I say a feeling of remorse because I got to a place where I was like, wait a minute, the Kim who I was, the person who I was, no longer exists. And that was a person that I had come to love and I had come to accept, if that makes sense. And so now, you're going through a process where you're no longer the person who you were. I look in the mirror and I don't recognize this person. Yes, she's beautiful. Yes, it's wonderful to be in different clothes, and it's even changed my style. And so, you go through, a myriad of emotions. I'm so used to and conditioned to going to a certain to a certain, area in the stores, and now I don't have to go to that area anymore. You know, and then you have people who have known you for years, and now they see you and they say you look great, and I say, yeah, okay, I look great, but I don't recognize this person. So it's a weird dynamic that takes place. And so, you know, it's something that you don't only have to be physically prepared for, you have to be mentally prepared. Because there was so much that came along with this, when you can't believe that you've lost the weight even though you've done the work, and you would think, well, you've done everything you were supposed to do. Why didn't you think it was going to happen? But for some reason we tend to self-sabotage, and so I think I was thinking that I wasn't going to be able to accomplish it, and then I did, and then it was like, okay, now what? Then you had to think about changing your whole wardrobe. Your clothes no longer fit. You can't put a belt on everything. Your shoe size sometimes shrinks. My feet got smaller. My rings got looser, things of that nature. And so there's a lot that comes along with the physical. There's the mental aspect. There's a financial aspect, because you've got to replace your wardrobe. You can't walk around with no clothes on. You've got to have clothes that fit. And so, like I said in my previous video, Goodwill is just the GW is what I call it. You'll hear me call it the GW. That's where, I live and breathe, because I'm still on this journey. And so, just getting past that mental milestone is going to be helpful as I prepare for this surgery that's coming up in 4 short days. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about preparation, okay? Because I found out very, you know, very recently that I was going to be having the surgery. I had gone and I had put in for my consultation, back in September, and the early part of September, and it took almost 3 months before it was approved. I had some issues with my paperwork not being submitted in a timely manner because they had some changes in staff at my physician's office, and so that kind of delayed the process. But it's good to just be mindful that it's a process. It takes time, and what can happen is there can be some delays, but as you're doing, as you're, waiting for those things to come, always, just make sure that you're calling back, that you're touching base, making sure that things are fluid, that things are happening the way they should be. And it was almost 2 months of me waiting before I finally called and said, hey, what's going on? What's the delay? And found out that my paperwork had not been submitted. So there are going to be a couple of hiccups along the way, but remember that you are the biggest advocate for yourself. So make sure that you're advocating and that you're doing everything that you need to do to make sure that the process is moving itself along. Their interest is in scheduling and making sure that you're billed for the services that are being provided. And it's up to you to make sure that things are going smoothly and that things are happening in the time frame in which they tell you that they should be. And so, like I said, I did a lot of legwork to get there. And then I found out only, a week ago, actually 6 days ago, I mean, 6 days, before my surgery, that, I was going to be actually having it. And so, I had started making some preparations, just anticipating that it would be coming soon. But now it's here and it's real and it's 4 days away. And so, what I've done today is make sure that I, had everything in place. My surgery is supposed to take place in the afternoon. And, I thought it was going to take place in the morning. And when I found out that it was going to take place in the afternoon, there's a possibility that because it's so many hours that it's going to take for the surgery to be performed, that I may wind up staying overnight, even though it's an outpatient process. So what I've done is I've made sure that I've packed a bag, so I'm not leaving the responsibility on my husband or my daughter to try to pack a bag for me with things that I may need. So I already have a bag packed in case I have to stay overnight, and that's something that they put in the paperwork, that there's a possibility that you may stay overnight. Secondly, I have, outside of having my bag packed, I've started seeing what are some things that I'm going to need, post-op. And one of those things that I was told during my pre-op visit was that I would need to sleep on my back, almost like in a beach chair position. So what I did about a week ago, just in anticipation of me getting scheduled for the surgery, I went on Amazon and I bought wedges that I can use, and I have been sleeping on my back for the past week so that I'm not waiting till the day of my surgery when I get home to find out that they don't work or that it's not comfortable. So I've been, sleeping on my back so that I can get used to doing that. I am a diehard side sleeper, and I have large breasts, so it just wasn't always comfortable for me to sleep on my back. It almost felt like it was suffocating me. So, I've adjusted the wedges and I've gotten comfortable with sleeping in that position because I'm going to have to sleep in that position for the next couple of weeks once my surgery is completed. So, I made sure that I had the wedges. There were things that I tried to make sure that I anticipated, like making sure that if for some reason I have some heartburn, that was something that some people mentioned in some of the videos that I watched about having heartburn. So I made sure that I went and bought some Prilosec just in case I need it. I didn't want to wait until it happened and then not be prepared with the items that I needed. They said that I'm going to be taking, pain medication. And when you take pain medication, things like Oxycodone and now I'm forgetting the name of the other one, the Percocet, things of that nature. If I have to take any of those type of medications, those things can cause constipation. So I made sure that I bought some Colaze, which is a stool softener to help with, moving things along once I get home. I've been told that, I may have a diminished appetite for the first couple of weeks, due to the tightening of your stomach, you may not be as inclined to want big meals, or you may not be inclined to eat much at all. But they really want you to have your protein. And so, I bought a couple of, I bought a case of Glucerna, so that way I can start out with having some protein shakes, so that I'm getting the protein that I need to help build my body back up and to repair my body as it's healing. And so I made sure I did that as well. And, I have a big cup. It's about 52 ounces that holds of water, that I have. And, I'm going to use that because they want you to make sure that you're drinking plenty of water. Now there were some things that I was doing prior to this surgery that are going to be helpful in my recovery. And one of those things was I would drink a gallon of water a day. And so that's something that I've already gotten used to doing. And if you're considering doing this surgery, that's a wonderful thing to do. Start doing some of the things that are going to, become habits. It's habitual for me to drink the water now, so it's not going to be a problem, after the surgery for me to continue to drink water. It's something I've been doing. Something else that I was doing prior to this surgery, to this upcoming surgery, is a lot of strength training. Working on my core and my abs, working on my arms and my legs, so that I can build strength in my body. So that way I can be as close to my goal weight, and as physically prepared as I could be, so that my body can be strengthened, because you're not going to be able to exercise for 4 to 6 weeks after the surgery. Now for a person like me who exercises daily, and usually 20 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes in the evening, I do a combination of some cardio, I do some strength training, target certain areas, make sure that I'm, skipping days with the strength training, so that way I'm giving my body time, my muscles time to repair. So I'm doing those types of things. And I've been doing those things for months. And so, that's going to help me in being able to heal a little faster, because these are things that I've been doing. These are not things that I'm starting. These are things that I will continue once my recovery period is over and I'm cleared by my physician to do that. So you want to start that today. You want to start that now. Start making sure that you're getting into some healthy habits, so that way, it's just a continuation once it's done. It's not something that you're starting anew. You've already got enough new things going on. You got a new body. You've got, new feelings and things that are going to be happening. And you want to have, when you go back, you want to have some normalcy. And so I'm looking forward to that. I have some meditations, that I'm, preparing for. And there may be some days where, to be quite honestly, I may just look at the exercising, because sometimes even that visualization is strong, and that will help you and familiarizing, what it is that your body needs to do in order to maintain your wellness journey. And so those are just a few of the things that I've been doing so far. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I've prepped for, with, coming up to this. Oh, one other thing I did is I went on Amazon and I purchased a little pouch that's going to hold the drains that I'm going to have on, that are going to be on both sides of my body after the surgery is over. So it's waterproof. I can put those in there. It's a garment. You can either put it around your neck or around your stomach, and then go ahead and stick the drains in that little pouch, and you'll be able to do that. I have a high bed, and so, because I'm tall, I'm 5'9", and so I'm tall. I have a tall bed, and where it's going to be easy for me to sit on the edge of the bed, it's going to be difficult for me to lift my legs that high once I get on the bed. So I happen to have a step stool already, because my grandbaby lives with me, and she uses it when she brushes her teeth. And so she, it's in the bathroom. So I'll be bringing it into my bedroom, so that way I can step down on that. And of course, I still will need the assistance of my husband or my daughter when I'm going in and out of the bed. But that's just something I need to do too. That's going to help me to not have to lift my legs as high, but I'm still going to have to lift them. So I have that. I'm trying to think what other things. Oh, I also have a walker. Now, I was in my asking questions to my doctor. I asked if it was necessary for me to have a walker because I had seen some people mentioning that they were going to be using a walker, and she said I didn't need one. But because of my spinal stenosis and because like I said, I'm busty, and you have to kind of walk in that hunched over position, I may experience some back pain or I may get that tingling sensation, and I want to have something to hold on to if that should happen. Because typically, even when I'm on a normal day, if I go food shopping or if I go anywhere, I always get a cart, and that cart kind of holds me up. So just in case that nerve begins to pinch and I start to experience some pain, I've got something to hold on to. So I'll have the walker more for that reason, for my spinal stenosis, not for the actual surgery. Some people are just fine just walking slowly and walking over, but just in case I begin to experience any tingling or numbness in my legs in combination with this pain, I want to have something to hold on to. So my husband's friend had my husband's friend's father had a walker that had little brakes on it and had a little seat on it, and so he allowed me to borrow that so that I could have it, just in case I need it. So it's a matter of being proactive. You want to make sure you have the things that you need just in case you need them, not having to order them or wait for them. Just like they tell you with your pain medication, make sure that you stay ahead of the pain. I want to make sure I'm staying ahead of certain things that I know could possibly happen, and I'll have the tools that I need. It's always important in any aspect of your life. When you come to a crisis or something is happening, that you have the tools that you need to be able to address that crisis. If you have a leak in your bathroom, you're not going to have a pencil box to handle it. You're going to have you're going to have plumbing tools. You're going to have a plunger. You're going to have a wrench. You're going to have things that you're going to need to help you to resolve the problem should it come. So it's that same type of mentality. What can I do to be proactive so that I can have the things that I need within arm's reach without having to wait, and have to go out and purchase something at the last minute. So I'm trying to make sure that I'm staying ahead of those things and that I have the items that I need. I bought fresh pajamas, even though I have pajamas here, they talk about infection and things of that nature. I wanted to make sure I had a fresh pair, and so I got those and washed them, and made sure that my sheets were laundered and things of that nature. So those kinds of things are going to be essential for my recovery. Now, what I've also done is, I had to figure out what to do with my hair. Okay, I've been growing my locks for 8 years, and so they come down to right above my bottom. So, I have it all scooped up now, but I have an appointment in a couple of days with my loctician, and she is going to color and style my hair in a way that, where I won't have to touch it because, I may not be able to do something as simple as this. So, I'm going to, she's going to style my hair. I'm going to go and get my nails and my feet done. And these things are important again for the mental aspect because, I may not feel well. I may be in a little bit of pain, but I don't have to look like what I feel like. You hear that you don't want to like what you've been through. It's one of those kind of things. So I wanted to make sure that my nails and my hands are, because people may be coming to visit. I just want to, and I just want to feel good. And I feel good when I go and have my feet and my nails done. I feel good when I have my hair done. And so these are things that I typically do as far as self-care, but I wanted to make sure that I had those things done because I may not be able to get to my nail shop to go and have those things done. So I've already made those scheduled appointments. So I have one on Wednesday, I have another one on Thursday, and my surgery is on Friday. So I wanted to make sure that I had those things done. I have a home office, and y'all, I had a mountain of clothes because, like I said, I, I had to change my whole wardrobe. And since I had to change my whole wardrobe, they were clothes from, I started my wellness journey last September. So I went through the summer. And so some of the clothes that I was wearing last summer, I'm not going to be able to wear this coming summer. So I had to go through and start purging those clothes. So I've been purging clothes all day today and probably a better part of tomorrow as well. I'll be purging some of these clothes and taking them and donating them to Goodwill. Um, because I will not be able to fit them. Now, there are certain things, I'm not giving away everything because I'm going to have some swelling. I don't know what size I'm going to be officially wearing after I, have this surgery. And, sometimes they say you can lose as much to a pant size or two or a dress size or two, and I'm just not certain. So I'm not giving away everything. I'm keeping certain things that are two sizes too big now. I'm getting rid of those things, but the other things that I've been currently wearing and sizes that may be slightly smaller or things that may have been a little snug, those are the things that I'm making sure that I'm keeping for right now, and then I'll purge as I begin that healing process and the swelling goes down, and that's going to take months. So I'm not rushing in regards to that, but I definitely had some clothes that I needed to purge, and I think I sent about 4 contractor bags today to Goodwill because I had bags, I had shoes that didn't fit anymore. And then also my style has changed a little bit. And so I have certain clothes that I thought were cute, or now they look a little older on me. This body, even though I'm 52 years old, this body, I used to wear certain clothes and certain cover-ups and things of that nature to you know, kind of camouflage my flaws. And now, those things are no longer necessary. Things are fitting better, and I don't have as much of the back fat as I had. And so, there are going to be some changes that are coming along with that. So I have, like I said, started purging. I'm going in and I've tidied up my office. I've gone through some papers that I needed to go through. So it was almost like spring cleaning up in here, just trying to make sure that I have things coordinated and organized. So that way I have a space to work in while I'm here recuperating. I have my work computer with me, and I've closed out things that I needed to close out at work. So that's important too. What are some things that that you need to do to prepare for work? I had a lot of benefit time that I put aside, for weekends and traveling that I've done for my job. So I had the time set aside, so I was able to use the benefit time that I had generated, to take this entire month off from work, so that way I could focus on healing and preparing for the coming year and the travel schedule that I'm going to have going into 2023. So I made sure that I did that. I spoke with my staff members with regards to anything that needed to be done, as far as training requests and things on my job. I made sure that my coworkers are aware of what needs to be done. Things have been scheduled, and so I don't have to worry. Now I'll go and I'll periodically check my emails to ensure that things are running smoothly, and I'll touch base with my staff members if there's anything that they need for me to do. But I've already closed out everything that I need to close out for the year, so I've made preparations there. So there shouldn't be too many needs for communication, because people already understand that I am not going to be there for the remainder of the year. So you're making sure that you're doing that. You're making sure that any of the spaces that you're in have been cleaned and disinfected, and that you can get around. I would not have been able to navigate in my office. I had that many clothes, y'all. Yeah, because let me tell you something about the rotation was strong. I don't play with my clothes. My clothes and my jewelry. I only got one neck, but I got 1,000 necklaces. Yes. Do I need my butt whooped? Probably. But do I care? Not really. So, I mean, the bottom line is, just purging and getting things ready. So, because it's a lot. It's a lot going on, and I don't want to be laying around saying, boy, I really wish I could have done that. I should have done that. I should have put this aside. I should have cleaned that up. Because I'll sit there and look at it, and it'll drive me nuts to know that it's something I could have done, and now I've just got to sit there and look at it. And even though everything in my power wants to get up and do it, I can't. So I wanted to make sure that things were in order so that when I came home, I could focus on relaxing. I can focus on healing and not have to sit there and be stressing over the fact that I should have done something prior. So that's the thing you should do. Go through and make sure that you've got things prepared. I've got books by my bed. There are things that I want to read. I have some audio books that I've already downloaded that I may want to listen to. The road is paved with good intentions. I really want to. I think I feel like, I'm gonna be able to I'm working on a couple of certifications. I'm going to be able to work on my certifications. I may be sleeping half the time, outside of walking, which they recommend as well. Like from day 2, as soon as your surgery is over, they want you walking, so I'm going to be walking, but there are going to be sometimes I'm going to be tired. And so if I'm tired, I want to be able to rest and do that also. But in those waking hours, when I feel up to it, I want it to have a task to do. So, I've made sure that I have those things available. And if I just feel like vegging out, I'm going to veg out. I'm going to listen to my body. And that's what I recommend you do as well. Listen to your body and do what it tells you to do. Do what your doctor recommends you to do. Not what you saw on YouTube, but do what your doctor recommends you to do. I used a lot of my research and things that I saw online to generate questions to ask my doctor. Okay, because that copay for the pre-op was pretty extensive, and I made sure that I asked how much it costs. That's how many dollars worth of questions I asked my doctor with regards to this upcoming surgery. Ask the questions. Don't be shy in asking the questions. You may not remember afterwards. The one thing with me is I have a very low threshold for pain. Low. You pinch me too hard. I'm like, ow. Yes, so I'm a sucker. I'm going to take that. But the one thing is I didn't want to be so much in pain that I would forget to ask questions because I'd be so focused on the pain. So what I wanted to do was make sure I stayed ahead of that. So I asked all the questions. And if I had any other questions, I went and I emailed her and she responded to those questions as well. Like I said, you have to be the biggest advocate for yourself. Nobody else is going to do that. Advocate for yourself. Make sure that you're asking the questions and that you're clear. And if the answers are fuzzy, then ask the follow-up questions. I'm not clear on that. Can you expound on that? Can you tell me a little bit more about that? Know what it is that they're doing. I'm going to be checking that chart to make sure that they're not cutting off my foot instead of doing this polychectomy and this abdominoplasty. Things happen. So you want to be prepared. You want to be prepared for what could happen. So again, make sure that you're advocating for yourself. Make sure that you're checking and that you're asking questions. No question is a dumb question, and no request is off the table. This is a major surgery that I'm having, and so I want to make sure that I'm asking all the questions and that I'm as clear on things while I'm still able to be clear. Once you start getting anesthetics and things like that, you don't know what your mindset is going to be, what your frame of mind is going to be like post-op. So I'm going to ask all the questions and make sure I do my due diligence prior to that. So these are just some of the things that I've been doing in preparation for this upcoming surgery. I've made sure that I've got my house in order. I've made sure that I've taken care of the little personal things that I wanted to do, like I said, like my hair, my nails, things like that, because I'm not going to be in any condition to tend to those things. And so, if I can do that now, I'm going to do that. I've spoken to who I needed to speak to with regards to anything that may be up and coming, any questions that may need to get answered that I may not, if I'm not available, people know who they can contact. And, I've already set the expectations for my husband and for my daughter, with regards to what I may need. And so, making sure that they're prepared as well. It's not just about me. I want to make sure that they're okay and that they're in a good mental space to be able to assist. I've already, made it clear to my husband that, I may need you to take me for this. I've already told him when my post-op appointment is and what time it is. So that way he can't say, oh, I didn't know, or say, oh, you didn't remind me. We've already set it on his calendar so that he, will get an alarm. I've already set it in his text messages. I scheduled text messages to go out on a particular date at a particular time to say, hey, here's a reminder. Hey, babe, remember that my appointment is coming up tomorrow. Don't schedule anything for XYZ time. So that way those things are set in place, because things may slip my mind, the pain may be too great and I may not remember. So I've set little reminders for myself. I've made little notes for myself so that way I'm reminded at different milestones to do certain things. Like I said, I have a podcast, and so I'm gonna be able to launch my show. So I already have reminders that are already preset that will just go ahead and automatically launch my shows, even if I should happen to fall asleep or I'm not able to put them on. I've already got those things scheduled, and my daughter is my backup. She knows how to launch my shows if I'm unable to do it. So, I've had some shows pre-recorded, so things are already preset. So those kinds of things are important, just making sure that those things don't slip through the cracks. Now, it's not to say that I'm going to remember every single thing, but I've tried my best in preparation to go through the things that I need to do. So that's where I am so far on this day 4, before the operation. And again, like I said, it's a mind thing. It's not just a physical thing, it is a mental thing. And I'm continuing to go through the process, to go through the feelings, to go through the thoughts, as certain things come to my mind. I've been praying on them. I'm a minister, and so, very much of the things I do, involve me praying daily and asking God for guidance on the things that are going on in my life. I meditate, I pray, and I have my Bible study. I have an app that has my daily Bible study on it that I follow. And, so I have that prepared, because I may not be able to physically pick up my Bible, but I have my verses, and I have my electronic, and I have my audio Bible. So I have those things in place as well, so that I'm not skipping a beat, and if there's something that's delayed, it's okay. I can go back and do it at a later time, but I at least have the tools that I need. So that's the thing, the biggest takeaway is just remembering to, you know, to be proactive, to have as many things in place as you can in preparation for what can occur. All of my paperwork and things are in order. My husband and my daughter know where to find things, so that way, things can run as smoothly as possible. And again, like I said, because I've done my exercise and have been drinking my water and eating my protein in anticipation of this surgery, I've put myself in a position to heal a little quicker. Hopefully, we'll see what happens. So I think I'll wrap it up here, because I don't want to go on and on, but I'm going to try to come back to you guys tomorrow for T minus 3 days, and see if there's anything else that I can think of or that has come up prior to the surgery. And like I said, just as they say biblically, be prepared. Be prepared for what's to come, and anticipate some of those things, so that way you kind of get ahead of them instead of falling behind. Okay, so I hope that this was helpful. I hope that it was insightful. I hope that it may have sparked a few things that you may need to do if you're preparing for your surgery, if you're considering it. Just some things to think about along the way. And always feel free to write in the comments, send me a message, and let me know if there's a question that you want me to address, or something that I can assist you with in the process. So again, thank you. Make sure that you like, follow, share, subscribe, and click that notification bell, so that way you know when my next content piece is being posted. And until I see you guys next time, I say peace.